Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we discuss the armies that are non-space marines in the Horus Heresy, and we start off with the Mechanicum Tagmata. The armies of the Red Planet consist of gigantic automata or indomitable war machines. They march in the name of their forge world, and they were a huge part of the Great Crusade. Mechanicum armies can be built in a variety of ways. For example, you could have hordes of mindless servitors tying up units while your big hitters move in and destroy the enemy's damage-dealing elements. Or you could have an army of multi-wound automata shooting your opponent off the table. Or you could even have phalanxy holding the line while your tanks abuse the slow units in the shooting phase when you go the reductor route. A good thing here is that you can paint your army whatever you like. Obviously there's the red of Mars, but there's like hundreds of different forge worlds which can have different schemes. For example, the Zana forge world that harbors the Malinax Mechanicum Knight household has bone white armor and silver, and like the metallics parts are still silver, but you could make up other color schemes to support your knight houses in the heresy, to have them accompany your knight house, your Mechanicum force. This is very nice and also amazing that here you have a lot of liberty. You could even change the automata a little bit around, maybe craft some parts yourself, or change some arms up, or add some decorations maybe. That's all very possible when you start a Mechanicum army. Then we have the Talons of the Emperor, the longest serving stable superhuman warriors of the Imperium. These unmatched warriors are the Legio Custodes, with the support of the witch-seeking cadres of the Sisters of Silence, and they make up the private army of the Emperor. The Custodes are the Emperor's bodyguard, and as such collectively the most skilled fighting force in the whole galaxy. Their basic troops match the best of the Astartes, who are the elite shock troops of the Imperium. The Sisters of Silence are the answer of the Imperium to paranormal activity. Them being pariahs, they suppress any warp-born powers. Their playstyle is mostly based around the Custodes, because the Sisters of Silence miss a lot of depth of units to make them a good standalone army. On the battlefield, the Custodes are doing better than most stuff already, but since they are a bodyguard unit and less a standing army, they lack certain units like artillery or heavy air support. So if you want to play a Custodes army, if you bring a Custodes army, you should make sure that your Custodes, like your guard squads and your Terminators and Dreadnoughts, get in close with the enemy, because like a bodyguard force, they don't have the greatest range firepower. They have some, don't get me wrong, but they don't have like the best range war gear. So I would advise you to think about that. The Custodes have a very bad reputation because they have been very unbalanced when they got released in Book 7, but that gladly changed. They got a fix in Book 8, which makes them a good army to play against, and not like an auto win for the person who brings Custodes. I think the Book 8 fixes made the army enjoyable to play against, and that's something you should always take into consideration when you play a game with someone. Like when you play a game with your opponent and you want to play a narrative game, you should always try to build an army that is enjoyable to play against. Then we talk about the Solar Auxiliar, humanity's finest. These soldiers are the elite garrisons of Fringe World and the best soldiery you can get out of basic humans. They are the bulwark of humanity against the darkness of the galaxy. They either man space stations or bunkers in threatened trading routes, or follow the legions of their homeworld, or try to break stalemates where Legion cannot strike. The Solar Auxiliar always answer the call. In playstyle, they either have tank-heavy armies with lines of infantry protecting them, or a Zone Mortalis force with deadly Ogrins and Flamer sections. The Solar Auxiliar truly are one of the coolest forces in the Horus Heresy, but sadly the last chance to buy has gutted the range, and the designer who has made them left Forge World. So they either go the way of the dodo and grow extinct in some time, or someone else picks them up. So starting a Solar Auxiliar army is not only a huge financial commitment, because they are on the more expensive side of the spectrum of armies in the Horus Heresy, but they also are very hard to paint. You would have expect that if you have to paint infantry in the 50s or even in the 100s, you wouldn't have so much detailed models. But from the experience of friends starting Auxiliar armies, it's very hard to paint them because the models you buy from Forge World have incredible detail. Every Solar Auxiliar soldier is as detailed as the characters of other armies. They are amazing models, but if you want to start them, better be committed to paint a lot of detail and a lot of models. But I think them looking as great as they look will make it fairly easy. Sadly, when you start the Solar Auxiliar army, you would have to craft your own tank crew out of the existing models you have, which would require a lot of sculpting skills, or you need to be lucky on eBay to find someone selling tank crews and quad rapiers, or any other rapier that for that matter, at price gouging prices really. So that's sad with the Solar Auxiliar. I hope myself that someone else picks them up, just says, okay, you know what, I take the Solar Auxiliar on now, I craft them, I do more for them, because they also kinda lacking in rules. So my biggest hope is that someone else picks up this Auxiliar and says, okay, let's do it, I'm going to save this army or take this army on my back and go through with them. And now we come to the Imperialis Militia, maybe the most customizable army in the whole of the Heresy. These are the basic soldiers of humanity. They are the biggest army of humanity, and although the setting revolves around the civil war of the Space Marines, these troops are the most numerous, and there were battles in the Heresy where there was nothing but human forces fighting for the favor of their wayward lords. Since they are made out of basic humanity, they have all different facets and awesome amounts of customizations and possibilities through special rules. And the fact that the infantry has no real models means that you can basically mix every GW kit, or just use Cadians or whatever to represent your regiment of expandable human troops. On the tabletop they have so many different playstyles. You would need to find out which bonuses you take for your army, but generally it's loads of tanks, loads of walkers, and loads of infantry and whatnot. It's just a lot. They are the Horde army of the Horus Heresy. To give some examples of what you can build in Auxiliar armies, it's for example the survivors of the Dark Age. They give the possibility to your troops to have better weapons, better armor, and even use land raiders, because it was a common STC in the Dark Age of technology, how the Imperium calls it. So you could have grenadiers with 3-up armor saves, so maybe those human soldiers from the survivors of the Dark Age are wearing some crude power armor that awards them similar protection to Space Marines, like in some of the books where the Sons of Horus fought Wayward Forge World to compliance with soldiers that had power armor. Or you could just have a feral band of a barbaric regiment with melee weapons and bestial strength. You could basically have the Beastmen regiments that were in early 40k serve in the Imperial Army. You could do so much with the Imperialist militia. It's just, they are your toolbox and they are your army to build. If you want to have a great amount of tanks, expendable troops and firepower, and you have a knack for converting stuff, there is awesome potential for the army. And there's another army of which I won't go into great detail with, because I myself feel that this army is broken, and it is the Demons of the Ruinstorm. They have some combinations that make it very, very unfun to play against, and then they have other combinations that just make them completely useless and basically force them to never win a game. So I hope the demons get fixed in book 9, sorry. But as it is, the demons are so strong. You need to bring anti-demon units all along, and you need to have luck. Even when you hit a demon unit with a psi-out weapon, the perils of the warp could result in them getting stronger, and that's not a possibility I want if I bring anti-demon weapons. So this is not good. I'm no fan of this. This shouldn't be. I hope Forge World fixed demons in book 9, or fixes demons if it's not in book 9, they fix it in an FAQ. But as it is, the demons are ridiculous. I don't like them. They are horrible to play against. Okay, that's been it with the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to join the Discord server. Goodbye.